Hello, everybody. Oh my goodness. All right. Well, I didn't have the intro today. I apologize. I was working really hard on getting all these things together that we're going to go over because I hope you guys are strapped in. This is going to be kind of a master class in how Scientology is punching back, how they did it back in the day, and how they're still um, doing that same thing today. Okay. So we're gonna dive right in. I read that Time article, guys, and I gotta tell you, um, I'm still a little shook. Um, I finished reading it, and that's kind of what inspired this. Is that all this stuff is same stuff, different day, and we'll go through that um, probably another time because it is so tremendously packed. But I just want you to know that, like, this is like a prequel to going over the Time article. Okay. I haven't forgot about the Time article. Um, I'm not going to. So the first things that I'm going to share with you guys today, um, we're gonna go a deep dive into the references, into Hubbard, into the head of OSA, and all of these other things to figure out where all of this um, commands, where all of the blockadage, and like the protesters are doing amazing, um, but where they may be having trouble is in reaching certain people, in getting certain people to listen, and also what they're really up against here, um into, like, fighting Scientology. Okay. So without further ado, let's get into the first reference here. Let me share that uh, on my screen here. There we go. Let's get that pulled up. Perfect. All right. So many things. Where did my share button go? There we go. All right, here we go. So, guys, I figured out how to, you can't see it, but my 55-inch TV is next to me because I'm actually in my room. And yeah, so now I can see all the things that I actually want to open. And it's huge. And then I can read it, guys. Then I can read it. All right. So this is this policy letter. Okay, this is from the policy letter, attacks on Scientology from 1966. Okay, just to give you an idea of the time period that we're dealing with here. Okay, so the first thing he says up here: anyone proposing an investigation or an inquiry into Scientology must receive this reply and no other proposal. We welcome an investigation into mental healing or whoever is attacking us, as we have begun one ourselves and find shocking evidence. Okay, so it doesn't matter who's attacking. It doesn't matter why they're saying an attack. By attack means say anything negative about Scientology. That includes people like me who are former members just telling exactly what happened. That means people outside doing protesting saying, hey, this is a cult. They're going to steal your money and probably get you to try and sign a $1 billion contract. They're going to keep you in there like forever. You shouldn't, don't go to there, right? Okay, so you can elaborate on the evidence we have found and lay it out on thick, attacking the attackers only. Never agree to an investigation of Scientology. Only agree to an investigation of the attackers. Okay. So then he talks about how he got kicked out of Australia. So then he says, okay, so we're going to get rid of that one. Never mind. The rest of it is good, but we don't, the main point was that. So now I want to share these the next thing here. So the next one is here. So this is a confidential issue that just went into, this is Commodore's hat. This is from the Geo days. That's Geo worldwide. Okay. Counterattack tactics. All right. So he goes into talking about PR, legal, and then the big Hazagaza. PR, public relations, obviously. Legal would be in Scientology, the Office of Special Affairs, and the, deputy, the DSAs, right? Okay. So when PR and legal find themselves engaged in handling attacks, intelligence has failed. Those who attack Scientology, as proven by Oxford Capacity Analysis Graphs, their OCA test, the personality test, criminal or shady record, personal lives, etc., are provenly suppressive. When such people, as is currently common, ascend into the heights of governments or public or private organizations or the press, they are able to exert the fullest dramatization against anything which might benefit others, and usually do. Being suppressive, a kind word for insane, their aims are destructive. This is not limited to their fancied enemies. They are destructive to themselves and their own government or institution. This is well known to us. But there is a situation in it which has not been solved. When you threaten to upset things with a counterattack, this is pleasing to such people. And they go on attacking as they want their own government or institution activity attacked. So anytime, what he's trying to say here in very cryptic ways, anytime Scientology engages in a counterattack, the SPs love it. Oh, I love it. Because then it whips them up into this fervor, right? In other words, one plays into their hands. They want riot and civil commotion. Also, by the laws of insanity, from this policy letter that he wrote called Psychosis, they also want themselves destroyed. This is also known as being selected as somebody's executioner. Okay. Such people are suicidal. The more you attack, the more such people goad one, right? Now, he says here, this is the ideal scene. This is ideal scene for the Information Bureau, for the people who are out there snooping on everyone's private life, parishioners and non-parishioners, anybody who's ever said anything negative, government officials, you name it. Attackers against Scientology located and removed from their positions of power so that Scientology can get on with it. Any threat of attack restrained, leaving Scientology a clear field. So here's the handling. These people, these persons can always lose their jobs. Sounds like a familiar attack I've been subject to. These jobs permitting them power to destroy are valuable to them. This is a point of vulnerability. If the person's job is also not valuable to him, or if he cannot be made to cost his job, so if you can't get him fired, something can be found which he's seeking to protect, and it can be threatened. Like when you brought up Streets' dead son, like when you try to dish that Palmadessa has an OnlyFans, like when you try to, out somebody else or say something ridiculous that you think is going to hurt them. Interesting. Counterattack to obtain the removal of person with a product of dismissed attacker. If on test A is not feasible, that one there, the first one, survey to find what the person considers valuable and use it for restraint. What does that mean, survey? So now we're going to talk to all the people around this person that they're considering an attacker and find out what they hold in their heart dear. Is it their family? Is it their finances? Is it, their grandma? Is it whatever? They're going to keep going, keep going, keep going. And that is, the next thing. Avoid where possible the commotion and wasted energy of paralleling an attacker's own evil purpose of destroying his own government agency or institution, and instead discover the attacker and operate to cost him his job. Where A and C fail, use B. Okay. Just as a note, I know that Summer is in the chat trying to handle everything. If you have an important question, please save it to the end because I'm really focused on this right now. I will get to questions at the end. Okay. But let's save the burning questions for right this second. Just put them on hold because I have literally, guys, I have like 20 tabs of things to show you and go over. Okay. And then I promise I will address questions at the end. I didn't make these highlights. So, so then legal is, right. So on achieving success, inform public relations so that public relations can call off the PR counterattack and capitalize on any information. Okay. Gained if it does not expose intelligence. Like, don't find out who the secret keepers are. Okay. So we'll get rid of, we're going to go to this one. So this one, go to the next one here. I'm just going to get rid of that one. Okay. So this next one is Department of Official Affairs. Okay. This is from 1961. It's from slightly earlier than that. The Department of Official Affairs exists as an extension office of the Continental Association Secretary. Their purpose is the bettering of the public representation, legal position and government acceptance of Scientology. I want that to sink in. Okay. So how do they do this? Oh, what's this? Worsening the public belief and attitude towards societies and persons having purposes counter to Scientology goals, giving hearings and assistance to field members who have ideas to advance Scientology, but bringing continuous pressure to bear on governments to create pro-Scientology legislation and discourage anti-Scientology legislations of groups opposing Scientology. So you want to bring in government officials that are all like lovey-dovey with Scientology. Anybody who's anti-Scientology, let's stamp them out, not only with a PR campaign, but let's get the government involved. And so any group who's a threat to Scientology in some way, like, peace out, you're out. Okay. Keeping newspaper and other files relating to Scientology and anti-Scientology groups, persons, and activities. These are the files that are like getting bigger by the day on the protesters, on me, Aaron, Liz and on and on and on. Natalie, all of us, right? Trying to figure out how they can squash us. Okay. How they can just absolutely annihilate us as human beings so that we stop doing this, right? You do that through a heavy influence through our own and similarly minded groups on the public and official mind. Pro-Scientology government of the area. And then, so down in this operation, this is like how you do it, right? So the action of bringing about pro-Scientology government consists of making friend of the most highly placed government person one can reach, even placing Scientologists in domestic and clerical posts close to him and seeing to it that Scientology resolves his troubles and case. So you're going to infiltrate government places, the police, etc., place key Scientologists who are trusted next to the most high official that they can get their hands on, and make sure that you are seeding the lawn, okay, to make sure that Scientology is now the only solution for that high-ranking official, so that if anything negative against Scientology comes across their desk, they're just going to rip it up, throw it away. They're going to ensure the longevity of Scientology. Okay, this was written back in 61 rather. So just imagine, this is 11 years after, Scientology. Scientology started in 1955. Dianetics came out in 1950 or 52, right? So this is roughly a decade, between 9 or 10 years, give or take, when Scientology has been created, and they've been hitting nothing but problems. So this is the solution. This is the solution that we're going to come up with. So then we go to our next one, which is battle tactics. And this is from 1987. Okay. Originally from 1969. Obviously, Hubbard died in 1986. So this was reissued, okay, to the OSA network and the LRH public relations guys. Okay. So the LRH PRs in every single org, their post, their job is called the LRH com. Like literally the person who had been posted in every single church around the world who would pick up the phone and be L. Ron on the other end, or they would write. So anybody wrote to the office of L. Ron Hubbard, they would read it first and then decide if it needed to go to the old man or not, or they would answer the letters for him. Okay. So this post is all about, does everybody respect Ron? Is everybody like thinking he's source? Is everybody, pleased? Da, 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 da. And if not, they're stamping that out and they're handling it. Okay. It's like it's OSA light, but in the name of LRH, right? In the name of Ron. So this is a defense paper on material developed after 18 years of ceaseless attacks by a foreign enemy. Nothing in this paper advocates physical violence or invites physical destruction of persons. They really wanted to make that clear here, that we're not inviting physical violence and we're not inviting physical destruction of persons. I think that was probably added after this little paragraph, okay? In these days of Cold War, when actual warfare is impossible due to atomic weapons, so again, recognize the time in which this was written, 1969, we were in the middle of the Cold War with Russia. The warfare is waged in the press and public in the form of ideas, okay? The enemy uses groups and meetings of groups like one would with squads. So then he likes to refer to these like old army guys and things like that. Yeah. So it's bad warfare to fight battles on your own terrain, in your own subject area. It's not good to fight in the territory of allies. Fight battles wherever possible, only on enemy terrain and in and about his subject and his people, not ours. You can gauge your relative success by this. When all your battles are fought on his terrain, you are winning. Okay? You cut off their communications. So then it says, the Cold War is a war. The West is losing it because it's fighting by other rules than the rules of war. We mustn't lose it. Oh, this is, I'm sorry, I skipped over a part here. You can win a battle without legal and by PRO alone. Like that's public relations. That's the office of L. Ron Hubbard and OSA. You intend to win it without legal wherever possible. The prize is public opinion where press is concerned. The only safe public opinion to head for is they love us and are a frenzy of hate against the enemy. So we see this still playing out where the press is not giving factual coverage to the protesting, to what's happening. They're leaning towards Scientology. This has been built up, guys, over decades. Okay. This policy, like I pointed out, came out in 1969. Okay. So when unfavorable press is heading their way, what do they bring out of their back pocket? Tom Cruise. They bring out John Travolta. They bring out any celebrity that they can, Elizabeth Moss, to go and just be like, shiny, happy people, like that whole thing. Okay. So this is what they do. Now I'm going to share another one here. Oh, I stopped sharing. I clicked the wrong button, guys. I'm sorry. Let's go here. Maybe I didn't share that one at all, but anyway, I will make sure I do it right here. All right. So now we're sharing, there we go. Intelligence principles. Okay. Again, this is back in the GEO days. This is from 1972. And this is all intelligence mumbo jumbo. Okay. CS is Commodore's staff. That means these people work directly with L. Ron. Okay. When intelligent fails, it becomes a PR matter. When PR fails, it becomes a legal matter. When legal loses or declines, it becomes an LRH matter. Okay, so we're seeing this decline right now, right? Because their intelligence is not panning out, right? Because they're not people like myself. I'll speak for myself. I'm not a criminal. I don't have a criminal background. I don't have crimes that people are going to find. I've passed countless background checks. I have a leads clearance, which means I can work in any law enforcement office in the country. Okay, so in terms of getting like a security clearance, I've got it, right? So when PR, then it goes to PR, right? So then when PR fails, it becomes a legal matter. So all they can do right now, is there just like a lot of comments here happening? Okay. That then they have to like use all this stuff to try and like squash people with public relations. If that doesn't work, it goes to legal, which means lawsuits, which means trying to get people jailed, which means using their arm into their relationship with the law enforcement officials that they have their hands on to, let's see what's happening now, swatting, fire trucks. The only thing that hasn't happened is the FBI come to raid because they're not really in touch with them. Okay. So intelligence exposed is no longer undercover or clandestine. I guess you have to be super clandestine. PR most frequently exposes intelligence. Legal has often done so. Thus, intelligence always requires newness of approach. It is standard in its lines and actions, but it must be bright and new in its ideas to carry something off. They must have forgotten this because they're still doing the same stuff from the 70s, right? PR is a backup, not an exposure of intelligence, right? A typical intelligence action is to turn over some exact PR to get known that will then push forward an intelligence objective or to squash an enemy release. Okay. Whoever regards intelligence solely as information gathering has not moved with the times. The Japanese disturbed all this with the intelligence creation of incidents, then exploited by PR. The Russians use this from the Japanese continually. The incident brought about behind the scenes is then pitilessly exploited by PR. To reverse this, PR, then intelligence, is out of sequence. With knowledge, incident, and technique, intelligence properly comes first in any sequence of events. Thus, the constant police calls, the constant, fire trucks trying to create an incident, the people coming to confront the protesters, pushing them around, incidents, then trying to PR, flip it, smack it up, and reverse it, and gaslight everybody with Scientology stuff. Okay. Now, we're going to move on from this. I have so many tabs, guys. This is not even funny. So, what I want to do is I'm going to go down the line here, and I have a series of videos to show you. Okay. And we're going to do this as fast as humanly possible because some of them are a few minutes. The first one that I want to show you, it dates back to 1998. This is right after Lisa McPherson, everything else went down. The German guys were doing a documentary as well as 2020. So there was a lot of media attention. This is post the Time article, which was still in litigation at the time. Okay. So who is at the center of squashing all of this? Who was in charge of punching back at former members and protesters? Well, we're about to find out. So here we go with our first video. I'm going to cut the sound off of this because it's just B footage. Okay. But the title of this video is Mike Rinder, former OSA boss, is observing the anti-Scientology protesters on December 5th, 1998. Okay. So here's this video. We're going to talk to this guy in a minute. I'm playing this at 2x speed. So he's outside the Flag Land base right now protesting. There's some cops there. He's talking to the cops. There's other protesters. That's a parishioner leaving the Flag Land base. Okay. And most of these guys, there's Jerry Armstrong for a brief hot second. Most of these guys protesting here were former Sea Org members, former OSA members, okay, that had escapade, and we're now over here protesting. They're just hanging out, just chit-chatting, talking. This guy is like setting something up. This is total BS. Who knows? That's Scientology. Oh, who's over there talking to the cops? Oh, don't run away. Don't run away. It's Mike. He had to like make it pretend like he wasn't talking to them. That's why he's got his phone there, which his mouth never moves while he has the phone on him. He's just got the phone to his ear. Like, I'm just on the phone, so don't come over here. I'm on an important call. Look at that StarTAC phone though. That shit was the bomb. Oh, wait. Now he's actually talking. Don't read my lips. I'm gonna go over here behind this cop. Nope, can't see me. Oh, it's secret. Secret. But he's just gonna stand across the street from the protesters with the cops. Okay. And there's all these kids who are counter protesting right now with their Scientology kills shirts on. All right. Now we're gonna go to this one. Now we're gonna actually get to talk to this gentleman here. And let me know if you guys can hear the sound.
Back to Clearwater, to the picket being held by the former Scientologists. This is Frank Oliver, who was an agent of the Secret Service of Scientology, OSA for short.
That was me addressing a member of Scientology's Office of Special Affairs, probably, trying to get a picture of me as a former member of the office.
By 1996, the Munich state attorney had already found out that Scientology used undercover.
See, he recognized that this rando guy on a bike, who's not in a Sea Org uniform, was an OSA operative trying to get a picture of him doing this. Like, he's on camera. They have him on security footage. Why do they then need to send someone with, a 1998 state-of-the-art digital camera to then take another picture of him? He's right there in front of their building. Like, it's just an intimidation tactic.
Other intelligence methods as defense against inner and external enemies, and that it would not.
See, so you see here, he's in the investigation division, okay? And he started, this is his whole thing here. He was going to be there. This pass expired in 1991.
But criminal actions.
The Office of Special Affairs is set up in Scientology with two purposes in mind. One is the Office of Special Affairs to handle PR, and the other is investigation.
So he said it right there. They handled the PR and the investigation. Let's keep listening.
One works hand in hand with the other. Where there are areas that the church believes are detrimental to society, for example, in the areas of psychiatry, in the areas of
the big bad wolf, psychiatry,
IRS, abuse, maybe, Scientology sets up their investigative machine to work and then uses the information that they garner from that with their PR machine that they have, which is what they go out and they try and publicize this information. Now, it's not for the purpose of the general good of the populace. It's very self-serving.
All right, so we're going to leave that one right there. And we're going to go to this one, because you could watch that whole documentary and it's very fascinating. But let's just go here.
How is the Office of Special Affairs, the Secret Service of Scientology, organized from the top up going down? And who are the top officials of?
So he asked, how is the Office of Special Affairs organized, and how is it organized from the top down? Who are the officials, in case you guys didn't hear that, because it's very grainy.
The Secret Service.
Your top guy is Mike Rinder.
So that's what he says is at the top. Let's just go back here.
Is Mike Rinder. He's the executive director of the Office of Special Affairs.
He's in charge for all spy projects, for all.
He knows everything that's going on, and above him is David Miscavige.
So Mike's direct report is David Miscavige. He's the head here of OSA. And then it's David Miscavige. Just boop, boop.
The direct command.
Everything goes from him to him directly.
And under him, under Miscavige?
Under Miscavige, he has his own little army. He has the entire, yes, he has Kurt Weiland. He has the entire echelon of upper management of RTC. He has
Kurt Weiland, who nobody's heard from in bajillion years. Where'd that guy go?
The Watchdog Committee. He has
the Watchdog Committee, which consists of RTC appointed members. Okay, so them, Watchdog Committee, those people are all RTC reps. There is no, higher clearance than Watchdog Committee besides being, Dave Miscavige.
The IT management, he has the Flag Command Bureau, he has the individual.
That's where Debbie Cook worked. Okay, there's the Flag Command Bureau. They just were in charge of Flag. So it would go from David Miscavige to the commanding officer of Flag Bureau to Debbie Cook, who was at Flag, who was in charge of everything going on at this time, okay, and knew everything that had happened to Lisa McPherson, everything that was happening to all the children that were there, the human trafficking, you name it.
Individual orgs. He has Scientology Missions International. He has ABLE. He has WISE. He has, it's an entire pyramid that they have of different things that are supposed to be dissociated, but it's all under the same thing.
That is the clearest explanation of how Dave Miscavige has his fingers in all of these pies, guys. Right there from Mr. Frank Oliver. Now we're going to go to another individual who I do believe passed away recently, Gary Scarf. And this is what he has to say. Oh, somehow I stopped sharing. Why does it do that when I don't want? But at least I realized it this time. Here we go. There we go. Boom. Now you can see it. Here we go.
Scientology does not joke, particularly within OSA. They don't joke around. When they tell you to do something, you do it. And if you don't do it, then you're thrown off your post and you're punished.
I'm just going to play that from the beginning, just for the people in the back.
Scientology does not joke, particularly within OSA. They don't joke around. When they tell you to do something, you do it. And if you don't do it, then you're thrown off your post and you're punished.
Yeah, punished. What does that mean? Going to the RPF, going into the hole, getting excommunicated like Pat Broker, maybe other things.
They don't joke like that in Scientology.
And how dangerous do you think is the Office of Special Affairs under Mike Renner?
It's a very, very dangerous organization. Scientology is the most horrendous, terroristic, cult, criminal organization that exists today.
Now, this is somebody who worked in the Office of Special Affairs under Mike Rinder. He's asked directly, how dangerous is the Office of Special Affairs under Mike Rinder? That's his answer.
Primarily because it puts so much money into its public relations efforts. It uses its celebrity members to promote this wonderful church that it is. They have no problem with deceiving, misrepresentation, or lying about what they're up to. They have very strong belief in acceptable truth.
Very strong belief in acceptable truths, guys. This is something that Scientology is beyond expert at. Okay, acceptable truths, no answers. Any way that they can get people to not say what is real, what is really going on, answer a question directly, yes or no, A or B. It's just always like, well, when we're talking about that, what we're really referencing is the and then they just talk in circles until you're dizzy. Okay, that's what happens.
Acceptable truth, meaning that if I convince you, if I'm lying to you, but I convince you that I'm telling you the truth, then that is acceptable truth and it's okay. Which is why they spend hundreds of thousands of dollars lobbying our congressmen, our senators.
Hundreds of thousands. This was in $90. We're talking like, let's add another zero. They are spending the parishioner money lobbying every single aspect of Scientology they can. Case in point, LA Mayor Karen Bass, who's been at multiple Scientology galas. She would never ask a question publicly. When I posed it to her when she was running first for Senate and other things, are you going to support Scientology if you're elected? Are you going to reject them? So finally she had to say, yeah, I went to a thing. I went to a party, but whatever. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, what do we see going down every single day in LA? her police department being completely usurped and abused and used as Scientology's sole private protection force. And she's totally okay with that. Why? Cha-ching, cha-ching, money. I would be willing to bet that they have given tons of money via different programs, via large donors, via corporations, via every single via that they can find to get her dark money. And they've let her know, like, we're your friend. Okay? Don't mistake it.
Pulling the wool, so to speak, over the eyes of Madeleine Albright and our,
So that is in reference to, for those of you who don't remember, Madeleine Albright, the Secretary of State, one of the greatest Secretary of States of all time under Bill Clinton, went to Germany, defended Scientology against Ursula Caberta, the Chancellor of Germany, like basically gave her a left hook on behalf of Scientology because we were a great religion. That's how good they were. I consider Madeleine Albright to be one of the most intelligent women who ever existed on planet Earth. And yet she was taken and fooled by them. Okay.
Our service, our U.S. Foreign Service Department, because right now Madeleine Albright has made statements condemning Germany for the persecution of Scientology. Well, Madeleine Albright is an idiot.
Oh, Gary, he didn't pull any punches. Now, I want to show you.
We have Larry David here in studio with 3 episodes of.
So, what I want to show you is how this plays out today. And of course, this is the infamous Mike Rinder, John Atack response to Miriam Flim Flam show. And I'm just going to show you a little bit of it, but I want you to pay close attention to Mike's body language and to how he answers this question here, how he talks to John Atack.
It actually started from the Aftermath show.
Yeah.
Because I was looking for an expert to come on the program to talk about the issue of the separation of church and state, and particularly the First Amendment and the law in the United States. And I got referred to a professor at Penn University, Marcy Hamilton, who has written several books on the subject. And I reached out to her and had many discussions with her, and she eventually came and agreed to appear on the Aftermath, and we talked about the First Amendment. And in doing so, she started talking to Leah and me about Child USA, which is something I'd never heard of. And then she said that because of the work that we had done, she wanted to present us with an award at the annual gala for having exposed the child sexual abuse and abuse in general ongoing in Scientology.
So this is how he got on the board of Child USA, right? It just was all like just magical happenstance for him. Just absolutely, I was on the show. I went to this thing. I got an award.
We went to the gala and accepted the award. And then Marcy asked if we would like to be on the board. Leah had too many other commitments. I said, of course, and Bob's your uncle.
Yeah. So, and I think that it's so important. I was, when I first heard that there was a restriction on how much time you had to make a claim against somebody who had done this, it's sort of, there are some things that should not have any statute of limitations, and any harm that is done to children, you should not be protected. You shouldn't be able to go 5 years or 10 years or any period of time and say, well,
yeah, he's just flabbergasted here, guys. Just absolutely, let's not, now they're talking about what Child USA does. This is not anything else.
No longer guilty.
Right.
Despicable. So
absolutely.
This is, I believe, our 13th, and I hope it's going to be lucky. I think it's our 13th conversation on record. And
we're just having fun. We're just two guys. It's the 13th time we've gotten together.
So I think I know you reasonably well, and I think I'd be right in saying that you're a relatively intelligent human being. You don't have to answer that.
I'm just going to set you up for some softballs here. It's going to be great. It's going to be great.
So the idea that if you were yourself guilty of an offense or a cover-up of an offense, by fighting to get the statute
Now just look at his face here. Watch Mike's face.
of limitations lifted, you would be putting yourself in the firing line if you were guilty. That's correct?
Yes, that's correct, obviously.
It would be...
Now he's mad. Now he has to talk about real stuff.
Deeply irrational.
Yes.
I mean, but you were in Scientology, so...
Scientology, you were in that, you know, that game we played a few months ago, that Scientology, posh.
I have done irrational things in my life, John. I continue to do irrational things. But that one would take some real, like I'd have to be hit over the head a few times with a hammer before that would be something that I wouldn't recognize was not probably the brightest move.
Yeah. And in this specific case of Miriam Francis, Miriam has...
See, now he's getting real mad. Look at him take this big swallow and eye roll.
Said that she filed charges in 2012 in Australia against her abusive father. And
no, that's not what she said, by the way. She said she filed them against her attacker. They continue to dox who attacked her, which again is gross.
In 2017, she was flown by A&E from Australia to Los Angeles to do an aftermath show in the second season, I think. And you and Leah sat down with her and said, we think you should report this to the LAPD, and took her to the police. So you'd be doubly stupid if you were actually getting somebody who you had some involvement in harming to report this thing.
So John is letting him know how he needs to phrase his answer to this. And as you see here, Mike is getting more pissed off because now he's got to come up with something good. So let's listen.
And then going and campaigning. So this is a serious contradiction if such a thing has happened. Miriam has said, and this has all happened very rapidly. It's only, I think, on Saturday that I saw this, and I asked Miriam to send me a statement she read out on escaping down the rabbit hole. And she feels that, from that statement.
See, look how much he hates the rabbit hole. He just made a disgust face here, right?
She was bullied into making a statement and going into detail.
Oh, he's confused. She's bullied? What? He even shook his head a tiny bit.
Tales of her abuse. And we have to have sympathy for that.
The show?
Yeah.
The show bullied her into making
the producer insisted on having more details than she was willing to offer at the time.
Okay.
And it's for her to...
He's just shocked. So now I want to show you guys something back from the 90s, back from the Barbara Walters special. And just watch Mike's demeanor when he's being asked questions here.
To the church and its members.
But please don't let them take that stuff out.
This is what happened when former church member Dennis Ehrlich posted the secret levels on the internet back in 1995. Armed with a court order obtained under copyright laws, Scientology officials staged a surprise raid on Ehrlich's home. Accompanied by local police, church officials carted away computers, disk drives, and Ehrlich says personal files.
I have not yet seen anything, and I haven't got an inventory of anything.
The idea that any court would open up my house to my enemies in that manner, to go through my personal belongings in that way for 7 hours, and it was just beyond belief.
Before becoming a leading church critic, Dennis Ehrlich was a member of its elite priesthood, the so-called Sea Organization. Today's Sea Org members dress in naval-style uniforms, live and eat communally, and sign billion-year contracts with the organization to achieve a goal they describe as freeing the planet. The Sea Organization is named for a group of zealous Scientologists.
So this is a little history on the Sea Org that they did, and they have actual footage from the ships that L. Ron was on here.
Who took to the seas with L. Ron Hubbard aboard a ship he named the Apollo. The year was 1967. Scientology was under investigation from Africa to the United States. In Australia, it was outlawed as a threat to the community.
They got outlawed in Australia, guys, in 1967.
Medically, morally, and socially. With nowhere else to go, Hubbard began to wander the Mediterranean, like Moses in the desert.
Now, for those of you who don't know, he was doing his mission into time, which was him locking himself in a room on the Apollo, auditing himself, and trying to treasure hunt through past lives buried treasures on various islands and places throughout the Mediterranean. So they would dock somewhere because he had, done a session that told him in these ruins, there's going to be like treasures that have been undiscovered by archaeologists. I know where they are. I found it in a session. He was treasure hunting, guys, via auditing in the Mediterranean, trying to recoup money and, things like that.
Searching for a promised land for Scientology.
No.
I became willing to follow him.
Okay, this is Hannah.
And high water.
I love her. Hannah's amazing.
A young nurse
she was the
named
first officer.
Hannah
So we're going to skip over Hannah here.
And those who are wailing or prostrate with fear
you get thrown overboard, guys, for real, off an actual ship into the ocean.
were just grabbed and shoved over the ship into the harbor.
There was a little ceremony that grew up that was like a joke, like a fun thing. Okay, I commit my sins to the deep and I arise a better man. People would jump off the side.
Does any of that prostrating sound familiar when Mike is just fluffing off an answer that is absolutely true, right? Let's go back to what Gary said. It's an acceptable truth. So it's an acceptable truth that, guys on a ship would just be blowing off some steam. All right, I'm going to go overboard, commit my sins to the deep. Woohoo! Ooh, it's chilly. Acceptable truth. So we go back to the Miriam thing. Acceptable truth. All right. Now, let's get into the nitty-gritty of how we get other people in the outside to start downplaying the protesting. And now I have I'm sorry, I apologize in advance, a Chris Shelton parade coming up. So, get a drink of water. Actually, don't get a drink of water. Just listen.
There any real defense for a former Scientologist to use fair game in the real world? I'm gonna understand your question to be asking me, is there any real justification for a former Scientologist to use fair game in the real world? I guess defense meaning like, how would they justify it, right? If I'm understanding it that way, then I would say no, there isn't.
So he says no, don't use fair game. No former Scientologist should be fair gaming another Scientologist. But
and I fall back here to you don't use cult tactics to free people from a cult. Right? This falls under the old 2 wrongs don't make a right rule. The way you get people out of a destructive cult is compassion, tolerance, understanding, support, communication, open.
I love how enthusiastic he is about these solutions. Compassion, tolerance, support, communication, just, enthusiasm.
Honesty, right? As much as you possibly can, be honest with them, but certainly never lie to them.
Don't lie to people.
Ever. That will always backfire on you. Always. If the lie is found.
Yeah, it does backfire.
Out, trust is lost, and it's all over. So so fair gaming, of course, is not just being mean or calling people names. Fair gaming is like coercive control.
Yes, it is. It is like coercive control. Tell me more, Chris.
fair game is a repeated pattern of harassment and stalking and going after people in a negative way to paint them out to be the worst possible version of themselves to everybody in the world.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. Okay, now we're going to go here. And let's get into the nitty-gritty here. This is from January.
And I've had a lot of time to over these years and a lot of feedback, a lot of positive feedback, a lot of negative feedback, to think about how I'm doing this, what I'm trying to accomplish, am I reaching the people I'm trying to reach? What about all these other people, right? And after a lot of, soul searching and looking and this and that and the other thing.
And here's, of course, apostate Alex jumping in there to let him know, I can attest you have indeed been helpful. All righty.
Because when I get criticism, when I get harsh feedback, I'm still a small enough person with not a thick enough skin that sometimes it really still gets to me, and it's been a process.
It does get to him, and then he deletes the things that he says. Like when he tells another creator, "Fuck you," on the internet in his comment section, deletes it.
Just working on that, growing the thicker skin, and all of that. That's been part of all of this. But I think I've finally, within my own mind and within the work that I'm trying to do here, come to a place of comfort with myself and a degree of satisfaction and certainty in what I'm trying to accomplish, that I know what it is I'm trying to do here and what I'm not trying to do here. And other people have other ideas of what they can and should be doing in fighting Scientology or fighting cults in general. Or their own cult, or their own group, or their own coercive targets.
He's trying to be very serious here about this.
Everybody's got their ideas of what they can best do to accomplish some fight against that. And it is true that short of, obviously outright destructive behavior like burning buildings down or some nonsense like that, short of violence, nonsensical, absolutely illegal activities, and that's never okay. But short of that, it shouldn't really be that big of a contentious issue as to who's doing what. We have wildly different ideas about what's effective. And I think
yes. And he's going to let us know what he believes is effective right here.
That has a lot to do with our various goals. And so to my chagrin, I guess I could say, if I've come across in the way that I've been speaking about things in such a way that, I don't know what people think. I'm really not sure. I can't quite get it. But there are some people who seem really angry at me because I'm not like on board with the protests or something. And they come to my channel, they comment, and this kind of thing. And I'm like, wow. But what really gets me is when I hear,
he's going to tell us
what
now.
What are you doing? You're just sitting there talking. So I guess I need to say that I'm not just sitting here talking. In addition to the other things that...
Guys, he's magical. He's not just sitting there on YouTube talking. He's also...
I just laid out or described to you that I've been doing for 10 years. I've been working one-on-one with people on an almost daily basis for all these years.
So he's working one-on-one with people on a daily basis, helping them. Okay, but it becomes less clear here.
But what does matter, right? The people, the family, all of that. So anyway, just reflections on what matters. Okay, and on that line, I wanted to share some just express my condolences and feelings regarding the loss of Mark Plummer this week. He was a former Scientologist, former Sea Org member from ASHO way back in the day, back in the 80s. Old man, really, really nicest guy you ever had anything to do with. I was never on his shit list or angry side, thank goodness, because he could have a little bit of a temper. But he was really, that was the unusual. That was the outlying behavior. He was always super, super nice, super caring, and got to take some pics with him. But really lost an important.
Somehow this
important
got
guy.
queued up to a different thing here. I'm sorry.
Speaking of passionate individuals, I see you in the comments, Jeff. Yeah.
Don't want to say too much, but yeah.
No, exactly. Guys, I love the comments here. Hey, Theta Novus, see you in the comments section there. Hey, Leslie, enjoy that book. Remind me. I had a couple.
Well, I decided since it's Martin Luther King Jr. weekend,
It wouldn't be a stream with me, guys, if I didn't have a whoops-a-doodle here. Hang on.
12th of January. Detail. And some of my comments on this might surprise you. It's going to be a nuanced conversation this hour on this topic. Well, we're going to get to that. But first, we have all of our usual beginnings and everything. There you go. Well, speaking
does it come easy?
She always does her quote.
No, it doesn't.
And then they have a Benson cam.
Speaking of passionate individuals, I see you in the.
They want to look at their dog.
There's our Snuggles Not Struggles cam for you guys. And
and he had another question in there about the actual copy of the book is on Amazon.
Well, and I'm looking at you, babe.
Oh.
And getting all the work done, and I don't mean to poop.
What are good times, the memories.
That's right. That's exactly right. Am I going to remember that internet fight where I beat that guy down? Am I going to remember?
I don't know. I might still be angry about some of those.
Okay, here we go.
I doubt that I'm going to be because 3 months later I'm not.
Right.
They're just
forgot about
gone,
it.
Right? They just don't even matter. But what does matter, right? The people, the family, all of that. So anyway, just reflections on what matters. Okay, and on that line, I wanted to share some just express my condolences and feelings regarding the loss of Mark Plummer this week.
Yes, that was sad when Mark
there for the Going Clear movie showing talked about on this last Monday. So some real significant losses in the ex-Scientology. Oh, I'm sorry about that. A number of people have gotten COVID. Geez, I hope here in Denver it's supposed to get single digits. It's freezing in Iowa, right? Positive, negative consequences or considerations, you could say, about protests, First Amendment audits, etc.
There we go.
I'm going to address the whole First Amendment audits thing after I go through some of these pros and cons, because I wanted to talk about this in terms of protests and then address First Amendment audits as a form of protest or as a form of public display, separate from what we've discussed already about protests, because I don't want to just redo what we already did a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Or
don't bore us with a redo.
When we talked about the thank you for gifting those memberships, Laura. Appreciate that very much. When we talked about the IAS protest and we were talking about protests with Alex and that kind of stuff, that's all still
there's Alex
completely
again.
What I feel about protests. And that's not what we're going to necessarily talk about, but we'll probably Venn diagram overlap a little bit with some of that today. Okay, that's
not what I wanted to show you guys, but this one I'm pretty sure I have queued up to the right part. We'll see.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So that's why I like the hub, and that's what that's about. Okay. All right. Figured this was going to come up. So what's your opinion on the arrest and release of Aaron?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I have, we talked last week about, some pros and cons of protests and First Amendment audits and this kind of thing and the stuff that goes on. And what is happening right now. And I have a very kind of populist view, I guess you could say, of what's happening in Hollywood and with these things. I see it as a sort of, I'm just going to be honest with you guys. I mean, I've listed the pros and cons. I've listed out
Here we
from a
go.
fairly, objective kind of, okay, let's take a look at this activity as an activity kind of thing. Try to do that as best I could so that I didn't come off like a complete jerk and just naysay or all
Definitely
these
don't want
kids
you
and
to
all
do
this
that.
stuff, and get off my porch, and all this kind of crap. But I just don't see the utility of it. I don't see the production or the effectiveness or that this is helping anybody really.
So he doesn't see any protests as helping anybody. And here he is again.
47 I have on the books here.
That's how many of these things
looks
he's
like
done,
we're
guys,
good.
in 10 years.
Let's get over to the chat screen.
447.
So we can see everybody's comments as we're going along.
Look
here.
at all the comments coming in.
Yes,
Look at all the people
excellent.
watching.
Hey, some of my critics here in the comments. So happy to see you. I'm sure those will appear up on the screen as we get going here.
He's sad.
Yes. Let's see what happens today. I don't know if you all saw apostate Alex Barnes Ross's video the other day where he just sort of got a little fed up with things and
Again about
decided
Alex.
to let loose for an evening. And I absolutely supported him in that. Alex has been receiving no end of nonsensical nonsense being directed in his direction by people who are absolutely lying about him and his work. And I am very put out by that. I support Alex immensely, completely, and totally in what he is doing. He is one of the few people in this space who is actually out in the real world doing the work.
Wow. Does he talk about anybody else but Alex? Let's see.
So, of course, people who can do nothing but sit around on YouTube complaining all day about other YouTubers have nothing positive to say about him.
Well, that was just a Alex fanboy post. But let's check this. This is from this month, just a few days ago, actually, on the 5th.
Just because I have a platform and a microphone and I get to do that. And if you want to hear it, you get to hear it. And if you don't, well, then fine. You don't have to. Liz.
I don't know what that voice is, but it is like, is that what he uses? No, I'm not gonna go into funny shit right now because we don't have time for that. And that's off track.
See, I guess I'm complaining to do. No, not really. I mean, I actually want to validate the hell out of apostate Alex right now for what he's doing in Paris, boots on the ground, organizing protest there, because I support what Alex is doing, and I support what Jeff Beaumont, PTS for Life, is doing, and I want to sort of clarify myself, maybe, admit to change, that sort of thing as well. I'm not trying to say I'm right about everything all the time, but I am gonna complain a little bit here for a moment about this protesting thing, because I have people come to my channel and tell me that I owe the protesters an apology because I'm so out of it. And if I really cared, I would get up off my ass and go do something about it. And after 10 years of doing this work right here on this microphone, interviewing people, spilling my guts, sharing my story, helping people one-on-one, I am sick and tired of people coming and lecturing me about how I'm not doing enough. These are people who have no concept of who they are talking to or what I have been up to. And I'm not even putting myself on some pedestal like.
What? He doesn't want to hear it anymore, guys.
I'm better than everybody else. Just know who you're talking to, right? 10 years. It's very, very annoying to be lectured at by people who just found out about Scientology, about how little I'm doing about it. So
and they're
anybody,
like, a lot of them were never ins, right?
Oh, the wife coming in to throw in people who were never in. Hot dog. People never in Scientology being outraged about human rights violations, about human trafficking, about child slave labor, about, everything they should absolutely be outraged about. Like, just like, what?
Yeah. And these are people who have no concept of what any of this is even about.
Yeah.
Yeah, clearly, because if you don't listen to Chris or read his book or follow the very crafted narrative of Chris, Tony, and Mike, and by Tony, I mean Tony Ortega, then how could you even know what's happening? And now, of course, we're going to add in, whoop, new character has been unlocked. Alex, apostate Alex. So, how many articles has Mike Rinder done on his blog about the protests? 0.00. Let's just check. God, his blog is just so cluttered with ads and just BS. You can't even get on it. But let's check Tony Ortega's blog. This is Tony Ortega's blog, The Underground Bunker, that he's been doing now for 20 bumpity bump years. Follow me here. Here's the search tab. We're going to type in protest. Okay. And survey says, okay, so we've got, there's apostate Alex. We're going to talk about him. Okay. Fresh off protest success. Let's get rid of that ad. The judge into Scientology org to judge its futility. Alex again. Oh, apostate Alex. Scientology protest goes out without a hitch and Tom Cruise made the scene. Oh, who's that? Alex. Has Scientology nixed the protests road closure? Alex. Here's one that's not about Alex. I'm shocked. This one is also not about Alex. This is about people who are practicing independent Scientology. So we have two posts that aren't about Alex. Oh, and Stephanie Hutchinson wrote a guest article about QAnon that has to do with Mike Pence. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And this one is the only words that Tony Ortega uttered about the protest that happened, the original protest that was, put on by Eat Predators, and many ex-Scientologists and former Sea Org members were there, but he just wants to talk about the guy who got injured. Here's pictures of the police, and when he got detained, right? That's the story, is that the hired security for a former Nickelodeon star was detained. Not that second gens and other former Sea Org members had gathered to protest in front of Celebrity Center. Nope. This guy got a silver bracelet injury. Let's just talk about that. Like, that has nothing to do with anything. Now, I'm trying to see if it was on TikTok or if it's on her YouTube, but I want to show. Oh, here it is. Perfect. All right. So this is a short that Jessica Palmadessa did and uploaded from the protest they're doing right now. Oh, no.
Aren't you from TikTok? How you know I'm from TikTok and you're in this building? No, they are.
So the girl recognizes Jessica from her TikTok. Okay. So these girls were brought in by their mother under the guise of free modeling. Let's listen.
Scammers. How are you going to let your daughters in there, lady?
Jessica asks a question that every Scientology parent should be asked. How are you going to let your daughters in there, lady? She asked it directly to the woman. Look at her face.
All right, it's fine.
It's our first time here. Dude, I swear, I was like, I see her. I was like, why don't we use this guy?
Yes, I'm just trying to get your money.
I'm disappointed. That's why we're like, let's just dip. And we just dip.
Yeah, good.
Yeah. I was telling her about your video.
Yeah.
See, the young girl realized that it was a total scam in the middle of it because she remembered Jessica's videos from TikTok. And then she's like, let's dip.
There's this girl who does videos. It was nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you, too.
Thank you.
And don't bring your daughters back in here. That's bad.
No, never.
Never again.
It's a scam.
It's because we were in there for the modeling.
Yeah.
What's a modeling thing?
When you practice your walking shit.
So they're teaching you how to do runway walking? And they were trying to recruit you into it? Trying to get you to take a personality test or something?
See, so they got these kids in to practice their modeling walk and then try to get them into Scientology stuff, guys. And what's effective? Oh, she remembered seeing stuff about this on TikTok where the youth is, and then convinced her mom, let's get the fuck out of here because this is bad news bears. So to say that the protests that are going on right now are not effective, this is how Scientology gets shut down. This is how more people find out about what is actually going on. Scientology has been on the internet, guys, since it started. Okay. They have had their Scientology YouTube channel for 15 years. Okay. Their Scientology YouTube channel. Let's go to that right now. Let's go to Scientology's YouTube channel. Okay. And we're going to go to the official bingo. See, and when you put Scientology in, no Scientology channel, the actual Scientology channel doesn't come up. It just is like all of our content. So you got to give me a second. Let me put the @ in front of it. If you just type in Scientology, it's a lot of my videos, a lot of Aaron's videos, a lot of Natalie's videos. It's not the Scientology channel. Okay, here we go. So at Scientology, their total number of videos, 872 videos. They have 88,000 subscribers. Okay. And they have been a channel since September 19th, 2006. They have a total of 265 million plus views, almost 266 million views out of their 872 videos. And they're still uploading videos today. Their latest video was from 2 months ago from the Super Bowl, was their Super Bowl ad that went up. Okay. So why do I bring this up? I have almost 14,000 subscribers. My views are almost at 1 million. They have a few 100 million views since 2006. That's almost 20 years they've been doing this. It's 18 years. I would love to surpass them. That's actually my goal. Let's play a little game, guys, and let's get me to 100K so I can have more subscribers than the Scientology channel. Let's just do that. Let's get 100K. I would love to do that just to have more than them and, the views as well, because I'm catching up. But it's not a contest between me and Scientology. That's another thing for another time. The point of this presentation is to show that all of these things, these dirty tricks, the shenanigans, it's nothing new. All of this is being heavily crafted in the background by players who don't want things to change. They want the same old story, different day. They don't want progress. They don't actually have the goal of shutting it down. Okay. They don't have the goal of no more kids. They don't have the goal of Scientology losing its 501c3 status. Okay. And that's the only focus, guys. That is the sole, complete, only focus is that. All right. So let me get to your burning questions. I see there are a lot of them here. Oh, right. You need your stuff. Okay. So let's get to the questions here. Duchess of Chug, not just the gay, but the best SPTV creator. What? Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate that. Doctor Who Heather, chat rules. Right. We'll just repeat this for the kids in the back. No hate speech, derogatory remarks, or spamming. No fighting. Don't make me pull this car over. And please be kind and respectful to the hosts and guests and the mods. That's just me and Heather and Summer right now. So please, let's have some decorum or I will pull this car over. All right. Cammie. Hello, Nora. Looking forward to what you have to say. Love your point of view. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed that presentation. Alicia. Yes, protesters are doing phenomenal work. What a time to be an SP. Yes, it's the golden age of SPs, guys. It's the golden age of SPs. Absolutely. Cherry Bakewell. Ooh, that looks like a delicious little tart there. I would love Yes, I'm a dessert person. Thank you. Thank you for becoming a member. I got distracted by your Abby. It's just a random chart. Maud Girard. Hello from France. Love your videos. Merci to you. Thank you, Maud. Doctor Who Heather, please type comment or question before your chat so Nora can see it easier. Yes, that does make it much easier for me to see those things. From Jen, I love how the SPTV community exploded and it's divide and conquer now. Absolutely, Jen. Absolutely. Fluffer Squirrel UK. I forgot to hit the like button. Fixed it now. Thank you. Please do like the stream. Leave a comment. All of that helps the algorithms. I love you guys for doing that. Thank you. Austin Diodardo. Diodardo. I don't know. I'm saying that wrong. Forgive me, Austin. We've developed codependent relationships with ex-cult members who themselves are victims of severe trauma. That is possible. I'm not a psychiatrist. I don't know. That seems very deep, Austin. Hopefully, you know, we shouldn't ever be, what's that name of that book? Something about codependence. I'll remember it later. Bye, babe. I love you. I'll think of it later. I'll think of it after the podcast is over. I'll think about after the stream's over. But Glennon Doyle brought it up a lot in her podcast, and now I can't remember the name of it. I should probably read that then. That's probably a sign. From a poet. Hi, Brian. Good evening, everybody. Good evening to all of you beautiful peoples. Is this the 1991 article in Time? I'm not doing the Time article. That's going to be a separate one. I'm going to break that down for us probably tomorrow. We'll see. Oh, we'll see. I might have to wake up super early and do a podcast because I have plans this weekend, guys. So let's see here. From Cherry Bakewell again. LRH was one sick bunny. Yes, absolutement. He was 100%. Alicia, it's amazing to see those who were once in Scientology trapped, get out, and then share their tales. Brave. Bravo. Bravo to them. Cherry Bakewell, acceptable truths. Ugh, yeah, exactly. It is a fancy way to lie and then get the person to accept that lie. And then it's not really a lie anymore because everybody agrees. Boom, bingo, bongo, truth. M. McLeese, lobbying is illegal for a 501c3 religious exemption. What the F? Yeah, exactly. But they do it. But they do it. Dreamscape, the older videos are sometimes full of gold nuggets. Scary thing is people have had the same criticisms for many years. Time to bring down this financial and humanitarian scam. Yes, yes, yes. Absolutement. Question from Anna. Can churches donate to political campaigns in the USA? No, they cannot. No, they cannot. No, that's a big no. Negatory, good buddy. Oh, it's Thea. Hey, Thea. Hey, Nora and chat. Just found your page, and man, oh man, I am a fan. This is like a Dr. Seuss comment. I love it. This is some interesting stuff you're covering. Thank you. Thank you, Thea, for tuning in. I appreciate it. Peter Anderson, scripted, leading the witness, etc. Yes. Yadira, hello. Oh, no, Nora, love you. Sexy lady. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Mena, word salad. Yes. Most of Hubbard's writings are complete word salad. Cherry Bakewell, the laughing was so inappropriate and the book promoting was disgusting. Thank you. Thank you. The look of Mike's lips are another indication that he's pissed. Yeah, the very tight lips. Yes. And Battles question. John Atack and Mike Rinder are just sickening. You can tell Mike Rinder is still so Scientology. He's putting on the Sciento eyes. Well, it's not a question, Anne, but thank you for your comment. Yeah, it does appear that way in the video. Chris 10M, I feel Scientology brought out the worst in Mike. If he has changed or not, I just don't see what he has to say is relative to the protesters. Thank goodness Miriam and Rabbit fear nothing. Yeah, exactly. He's not supporting the protesters except for Jessica Palmadessa. That's the only protester that he can name. You guys can do a thinker on that one. Cherry Bakewell, grown man surrounded by young girl messengers, totally normal. Yeah, just everybody does that. Like when I start my own cult, I'm just going to surround, well, they're going to be adult women, and my wife's going to be head of the harem because now she just shot me a look. No, I'm joking. There's no harem. I love you. I don't need to do that. I have the love of my life right here. That's why I can joke. Let's see. Yadira, I don't like Chris Shelton. Okay, well, don't watch his stuff. Yadira again. Pot, meat, kettle. Yes, agreed. William Simons, question: how many people has Chris Shelton helped out of Scientology? I don't know. You'd have to ask Chris. But according to him, he helps people one-on-one every day. With what? I don't know. That's a question for Chris. Rich's girl. Excellent work. I truly believe that if Mike Rinder wasn't put in the hole, he would be running OSA now. If it had been better working conditions, probably. Hearts back to you, the Nana boss. Thank you so much. Keela McDonald, thank you for becoming a member. Appreciate. I stopped listening to Chris years ago before SPTV and other people's opinions. I just got tired of the woe is me complaints and rants. I can't believe how little self-awareness he still has. Yeah, it's like the stuff I showed you was just from this last like 6 months, guys. But if you go back through his content, it's the same old shenanigans. Why isn't he the belle of the ball? Why isn't he this, that, and the other thing? I mean, unfortunately, he does tend to like get influence over other people. As an example, he was picked as the Scientology expert to speak out at a cult conference here in Portland this weekend. I cannot explain to you the magnitude of sadness that brings me for the people who are going to be subjected to that talk here in Portland and are going to get, absolutely nothing out of it except for how important Chris Shelton is. Okay. Because he never only talks about Scientology. It's always about how he is the one combating Scientology, about how he has helped all these people, about how he knows the information. It's not about what Scientology is doing, said, etc. that's bad and why they shouldn't be a group here, But let's talk about Chris's accolades and his degrees with a Z and things like that. All right. Christina Radish. If you told me that this man hosting a program called the Sad Eeyore Channel, I would absolutely believe you. Yeah. He's so boring, Cherry. I agree. That's why when I do watch this stuff, guys, I normally have it at 2x because then I can listen. I have to hear it fast. Onita GC, I'm late. I just want to say thank you for commenting on this while playing it. That way I don't have to give them engagement. Yes, I will handle the views there. Fluffer Squirrel UK, thank you for your super sticker. That is too kind. Thank you. Heather Rhodes, I'm pretty sure the rest of the protesters don't give an F about what Chris Shelton has to say about them. Absolutely not. My only point in showing that, yeah, I know Jessica and all them and Streets and everybody, they don't give two poops about what Chris Shelton thinks about them. However, Chris is brought to spaces like Portland to speak as an expert on Scientology, in which he will say that this protesting is not making changes and shouldn't be supported. And if I were able to go tomorrow to this soiree, I will not, I'm out of town, I would stand up and disagree vehemently. I would be like that person at a wedding that's like, if anyone has any objections, speak now or forever remain silent. I'd be like, I've got many. But yeah, I'm going to be out of town. So probably nothing from me this weekend. Yeah, I'm going to be very busy on an actual date weekend with my wife, in which I will post pictures of our delicious food and escapades later. But let's move on. Mommer says we have no concept. Yeah, sure. Keela, again, I can't make this ass block me. I've tried too many times. Chris Shelton is like the verbal, well-written thrashings from a woman. Must like it. He's such a pompous ass. Well, he's blocked me everywhere. So just say you're friends with me and then you'll be blocked. There you go. There you go. Grandma, life is grand. Thank you for becoming a member. Jody Q, thank you for becoming a member also. Appreciate. Sharon MC. Wow. Yes, that's an adequate, I get you. Nana Boss audits and investigations. I guess Alex is the only person doing boots on the ground work. Yeah. Like how insulting to everyone else around the world, y'all. Pearl Snappy in Austin. I mean, like, guys, Fluffer Squirrel UK and Utology both have lists of every protester in every city. Please go to their pages, like and subscribe. But in their community tabs, they update these things all the time. Alex is one person who organized a protest in England. Like, I think the protest was great. I give him all of the praise for that. Okay. But that's it. Like, he's not out there every night in Manchester, you know, protesting at the Manchester Org. He hasn't joined any of the other protesters. He finally did his interview with Natalie after being shamed into it. Right. So, yeah, it's a little bit weird that, you know, he's getting all this praise from Tony Ortega, from Chris, you know, from Mike and Leah, you know, and everybody else. Just go fuck yourself. People who are actually making change. Jessica Palmadessa got that girl to get out of that Scientology building before shit got weird because of TikTok. I really want that to sink into people, that everybody who thinks that these guys standing out there every day, saying all the things they're saying, chalking the sidewalk, making signs, interacting with people is not making a change. It is making the biggest singular change to Scientology's ability to function that has ever happened in the history of the Church of Scientology. Never in its history have there been simultaneous daily protests outside of almost every organization that they have on the planet. You got to let the magnitude of that sink in. And yeah, it's not that many people. It's like 100 peeps, right? And that's how much impact that like 100-ish people are having. I gotta plug in my computer here real quick. I don't want to die. There we go. So we really need to get this, like, you know, in the proper magnitude here, because it's enormous. The only LA protester that gets acknowledged doing a good job is Jess. Is that because Leah follows her? She said it on a stream. She does a good job out there. No, I just mentioned her because I showed her video. Streets does an amazing job. Both Chris's, you know, Confidence Chris and Chris Without a Hellcat, LA Cam, Scientology Audit, Hollywood Aja. These guys are out there. Leah, Danny, they're traveling the US. Pearl Snappy is amazing. I love her work every day in Austin. All the guys out there in Chicago, Trashy, and the crew out there. I mean, these guys, there's so many streams, you guys, that it would be, I would have to, I mean, I have a TV right here. I would have to have like 200 TVs set up to have all their streams playing simultaneously in my home, because there's so many of them. But yes, Jess gets, you know, I think out of all the TikTokers, she probably has the largest following because she's been doing it a long time. But these guys are all hugely impactful. But night after night, Jess has like 1,200, 2,000 people in her streams watching live for hours. Okay. And so does LA Cam, and so does both Chris's, and so does Pearl Snappy. And so, like, thousands of people daily are seeing in real time the BS and nothing but bad that Scientology is doing. Their members are horrific. The police around them are horrific. There is no benefit being shown here. You don't see somebody coming out of the church just so, I had such a great session. Scientology just saved my life because I was going to die. And now I'm not because I did that Scientology. That doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. No one is sharing their enormous wins in Scientology with the protesters to be like, no, you guys got it all wrong. Like, this stuff is fantastic. Nobody looks happy because they're not happy. Okay. So, oh, I can't use that anymore. All right. Thank you, Sarah, for becoming a new member. Let's get through these other comments here. I want to get all the comments up that have been starred before I go, because I do have to go in like 10 minutes, guys. Oh, and guess what, Chris? Jess is a never end. Who'd have thunk it? Exactly. Sarah S. again, that's embarrassing reflection on his lack of self-awareness. He just navel gazes. Yep. Kelly from Wisconsin. It's all about attention, jealousy, and wanting to be popular. Yes, absolutely. Keela again, comment. The never ends are not afraid of Osa or anyone that ex-Sciento has been raised to fear. That is why they're successful. Whackadoodle mew this. Yes, yes, yes. You're right. In the back of my mind, my very traumatized CPTSD mind, there is a part of me that does worry. When I go into my neighborhood and I see a car I don't recognize, immediately I'm on alert. I'm on extreme high alert. And then my wife will talk me down and she's be like, that's actually the neighbor's friend. They're here to help them with a party. Everything's good. And then I can like settle. Okay. But that's what happens because I know at any moment something bad could happen. And so I need to be on high alert at all times. But these never ends, who, by the way, are, I owe them everything. They are amazing. They don't care. They're like, oh, okay, you're going to do some illegal shit to me. I got a lawyer. This is cool. Let's go. I got you on video. And it's just like, I admire the shit out of that. I really do. I really do. We do need a Golden Age of SPs t-shirt. Now I said it. We need it. I agree. Anna, with a question. Do you think that the anti-Scientology community has been too much focused on the people leaving and not enough on stopping people from joining before streets? Yes. Yes, because anytime somebody would come out of Scientology and speak out in any way, shape, or form, not necessarily start a YouTube channel like me, but just tell their story, that was like, oh my God, it's like a holiday, right? Because so few guys, you have to understand, they currently, in according to the Time article in 1991, Time estimated that they had 55,000 members, okay, in 1991. They have not grown since then. There was no exponential growth. They've only had shrinkage. That is very naughty what I just said, but they have had shrinkage since 1991. And the amount of people in Scientology who are clergy members, the the fake clergy in the Space Navy, they number about the same number that they did back in the 90s when I was there, and now between 3,000 and 4,000 people worldwide. Okay, so if you take that into account, you got 3,000 to 4,000 people that are working for them nonstop, 24/7, right? And then the rest of the members total maybe 20,000 now. They've lost over half their membership, maybe 25. Let's just be generous. So that would mean around the world, there's only 20,000 members and the rest are clergy. Okay. That's not a profitable group. That's not a group that should have hundreds of buildings worldwide. They don't even have people to fill those buildings. They just keep taking the clergy and moving them around for these openings. And so they have just what they call a skeleton crew to operate these places. And that's why also none of them are successful. They can't deliver what they promise. They're very happy to take your money, but they aren't going to give back what they're advertising. But I personally think it's a twofer. You got to stop. You got to concentrate on getting people out, because there's elder abuse still going on. There's child trafficking going on. There's human trafficking. We need to get those victims out and help them onto a life outside of a cult. But what has been more effectual is what Streets and everybody else has been doing, is stopping the inflow of new people into the churches. Because if they can't get new people in, they cannot expand. They cannot talk about how they're taking over the universe and helping everybody and clearing all of mankind. So it is invaluable what they are doing. Invaluable. Facing codependency. That's it. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you. Thank you. Chris is so wrong. I agree, Jeanette. I agree. Super Storm Day. Thank you for becoming a member. Appreciate. Comment here from Bob Black Sheep Never End. Thank you for being a member. I may not be original here, but wouldn't a reverse dead agent booklet with a highlight of the devious acts of the cult be handed out to police, etc., be a good idea? That is a good idea. That is a good idea. Like dead agent, they're dead agenting. Is that what we're talking about? I like that. I like that, because if you have a point counterpoint in Scientology, they're supposed to as is each other. Just it's like eating celery before you eat a pie. It's like negative calories, right? It just erases all the other calories. So we'll do that. We'll just make a celery packet to their gluttonous pie, and it'll erase them. Boom. Julie Markham. Hi, everybody. I'm so late. It's okay, Julie. That's what replay's for. SJ, religions just use front groups to donate to politicians and parties. Yep. And also tell their members who to vote for. All illegal, but we know they all do it. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Hi, Louie. Bada bing, you're awesome. Bada bing, you're awesome. And thank you for being out there nightly in St. Louis. Appreciate you. Atkins in Texas. Hashtag Steve Hassan spent 20 years of his life apologizing to the people he hurt. What a guy. Yes. And Steve Hassan also, is a cult recovery expert. He also wrote the Bite model and explains a lot of what goes on for people in cults. And his book was tremendously helpful to me. And meeting him was helpful. He's somebody who's actually been doing the work for, actually 40 plus years now. Oh my goodness, Keela, you gifted 5 memberships. Thank you so much for that. Thank you. Thank you. Julie Markham. How can you say that with a straight face? Thank you for being a member. I don't know. I don't know. Hey, Audit LA. Hi. Audit LA, tremendously amazing. Getting the footage, getting in, just getting right in there every night out here in Los Angeles. That's what I'm talking about. Xenofree. Oh, guys, Xenofree. I couldn't read it. I don't know what's going on. I need a drink of water. I'm getting lightheaded. So much talking. All right. Every stream is just one link in a chain. This movement has such momentum like I've never seen. F Sciento. Yes. F Sciento all the way. 100%. Amanda Beaumont. Question. What data does Chris Shelton have to know if the protesters haven't helped get COS out? Don't think he has any access to success stories from SPTV Foundation. Yeah. I mean, he when SPTV became a thing, guys, and it was an organic thing that was born out of a fan's comment during a live with Aaron, Mike, Mark, and Claire. And people were like, you guys are SPTV. I love it. I tune in every night. I tune in every Monday. And so they loved the name. They kept SPTV. They made that little intro with Leah's voice and the MTV thing with the astronaut. And it was a whole phenom. And then Aaron gave me a ring-a-dingy and was like, you need to get your, channel back up and running and making content, and encouraged his other friends to get out here and make content. Surge, Lara, all these peeps that we've all known each other forever and a day, and was like, get out here, do your thing, use the logo, don't use the logo. And Chris Shelton was like, farmer in the Dell. The cheese stands alone. And before anybody even was like, hey, do you want a logo? Do you want to be part of the party? He was like, I don't like it. I'm not part of that. And just shat on us as if he basically said, and I'll have to find the thing. He was like, I already did that. I already talked about it. Why does anybody else need to talk about it? Because it's not about you, Chris. It's not about you. Yeah. So, no, he doesn't care for the SPTV Foundation. You will never hear him mention it. You will never hear him talk to anybody who's gotten benefits from it because he is not wanting to support that because he doesn't believe in it. It's not part of his religion, apparently. Yeah. And that's up to him. If he doesn't want to refer people to an up and running charitable foundation that's actually helping people who need it right now, then that's his choice. That's his prerogative. Crazy that helping fight continue with next generation is not helpful. Yeah, you would think it would be. You would think it would be. Tori recognizes how important this movement in history is. Hot dog. Yeah. Tori Magoo, for those of you guys who don't remember or haven't subscribed to her channel, please go subscribe to Miss Tori Magoo. She was doing solo protests by herself outside the HGB, letting people know what was what back in the 90s. She was out there all by her lonesome on a daily basis, trying to talk to Mike and tell him, hey, man, I think you're wrong. Like, get your shit together, Carol. And yeah. And now she's out with the youngins. And they are helping judge her YouTube, because this is how it works when you actually give a shit about the thing. Now, Tori, she's the same age as my mama. She doesn't need to be, marching around protesting. She's got to sit down sometimes. She's an elder, respect. But she's still out there because that's how important it is to be out there on the front lines saying the important things. So she knows what it's about. I love her. Wait, who, what? Comment, I meant to acknowledge by the ones who are talking bad about protesters. I think everyone protesting is amazing. Okay, good. Me too. Me too. F. Sciento, thank you, Atkins in Texas. Thank you for what you're doing out there. Hey, Dylan, dropping by to support the Nora. I heart you. I heart you, Dylan. Thank you so much. And if you guys haven't subscribed to Blowdro, please do. He's got the deets and the receipts. Definitely tune in for him. Nana Banana 9. I do think that Mike Rinder and his crew only acknowledge Jess because Leah follows her. Probably. Probably. Also, let's be honest. She's young and attractive. That's probably why he can remember her name and not William Good. Diana B, live streaming has changed everything when it comes to protests. Yes, it has. Yes, it has. Wendy, love one of the best videos explained about what's going to shut cult down from a never end. Chris Shelton, Mike Rinder, Bunker Boy clearly shows their true colors. They struck first with COS and are doubling down. Oh, yeah. Yeah. 100%. 100%. Dylan, so you're saying Scientology has experienced shrinkage in the pool of society. Yeah, that pool's cold. It's cold, Dylan. It's cold in that pool. Debs M. Is that I don't know what. Oh, from Scotland. All right. We've got a Scottish member. Thank you so much. Thank you for becoming a member. Austin Diodardo. Do you think that those who disparage the protesters will ever admit they were wrong, or will there be subtle message change? Ooh, that is a thinker. I don't think they're ever going to admit they were wrong or apologize. And frankly, that's up to the protesters to, radically accept that. I'm working on radical acceptance right now in therapy, in case you guys hadn't noticed. But what I hope is that second half that you're talking about, the subtle messaging change and support, will just happen. Because that's what needs to happen. They need to get on this train. They need to get on this train. There's no other train to be on right now. Sovereign Brehan. The police are part of the dead agenting. They know damn well what's going on. Exactement. Exactement, my friend. Matt Elliott, MAA, SPTV Canada. Thank you, sir, for becoming a member. And my condition is in power right now. Thank you very much. Heather in the library. How could anyone... Oh, what happened here? How could anyone claiming to help people, save people from F Sciento be against protesters? Our in-person support. I don't know. I don't know, Heather. I don't know. And thank you for being a member. I don't know. I want my SPTV. Yeah, me too. Me too. Question from Dreamscape. Have you ever read the FBI files available online? Mostly redacted, but volume 8 of 9 is fascinating. An insider RPF from Blue writing to the outside while still in, mentions many names. Yeah, apparently that was happening while I was on the RPF, because I believe my name was mentioned there. And yeah, that was wild, guys, because those computers that we had access to write our reports, very rudimentary, very old computers. But the fact that this person figured out the time to get online and leak shit, I salute you. I heart you. Please contact me. I will help you out. Personal hero, whoever did that. I hope they have left. I hope they have left. Jeanette Rexford. Natalie update in the morning and Tori updates overnight. Yes. Yes. But circling back to that RPF thing, notice that the FBI, this is in FBI files. Where was the raid? Where was the fucking raid in the middle of the night on the Big Blue building to come get us out of those horrific, cockroach-infested, beans and rice, slave labor, human trafficking conditions? I'm still waiting. Still waiting. Hi, everyone. Hi, Chow Yun Smut. Audit LA. Is it true that kids paved LRH Way? Yes. Children, adults, RPFers. I did some of the paving there. It was kind of like, come one, come all, set some bricks. Bring your small ones. Bring yourself. Bring your grandma. Yeah, that was all public labor. They didn't hire an actual mason to do that. Sharona. Comment, thanks so much for doing these Let's Break This Down type videos. They have been very informative and connect so many dots. The newer people coming in to watch SPTV need these. Thanks. You are welcome. And I will continue to bring you the inside scoopies. Surge, everyone knows, is the literal problem. Yes, Surge, preach it. If you guys aren't subscribed to literally Surge, please give him a subscribe. Please go and watch his channel where he talks about so much truth, so much insider knowledge going on. I heart you big time, my friend. I heart you. From Lanakin, was there an update on Maria? I don't know. I don't know who that is, but hit me up in my email. We'll talk about it. Jem McGregor, have you ever realized that in the Sea Org, you were not allowed to say no? See, you're hitting me with this and I'm about to go to therapy. I'm late for therapy, guys. That is a thinker. I never thought about it that way, but that is very true. That is, ooh, that one's going to stay with me. That's a good one. Diana B, my opinion to Mike Render, to Chris, Tony Ortega, Chris Shelton. Oh gosh, I don't know who the other two people are. I don't know. I'll have to look those two initials up. CH and MH. Oh, Claire and Mark Headley, etc. Don't want Church Scientology to end. Their fame and fortune, power goes away. A little bit. Oh my God, guys, I made it to the last one. M. McLeese, I have a meeting set with LAPD. Oh, and we really need and want your help. Okay, well, hit me up in my email, my friend. I will do what I can. I'll do what I can. Guys, thank you all so much for tuning in to this a lot of information live stream. I appreciate it more than you know. Memberships are open. Like and subscribe. I've got a store. It's ononora.com. People purchase some dog merch and their dogs are going to marches. There's dog merch, there's hats, there's shirts, there's sweatshirts, whatever. If you want it, you can have it. If you don't want it, don't worry about it. It's okay. Thank you, as always, to my mods, Heather and Summer, who are doing the extreme heavy lifting in the chat. I appreciate it so, so much. If you're catching this on the replay, I appreciate you too. And thank you for tuning in. And I will catch you all on the flippity dippity.